What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are doing something absolutely insane. For hundreds, even thousands of years, people have told stories about mythical creatures. We're talking about everything from mermaids and dragons to the Yeti, and even angels. These are the kinds of stories you hear around a campfire, the legends that get passed down from generation to generation. But what if I told you that some of these creatures might not be just stories? What if someone actually caught them on camera? In this video, I've compiled the craziest, most unbelievable footage of alleged mythical creatures ever recorded. We've got stuff that will make you question everything you thought you knew. I've spent days searching the internet for these clips, and some of them are genuinely mind-blowing. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. My job is just to show you the evidence, and you guys get to be the judge. Are these videos elaborate hoaxes, or are we looking at real-life mythical beings? Before we dive into this absolute madness, if you're new here, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and please, for the love of all things mysterious, like this video. It helps us out a ton and lets me know you want to see more insane content like this. Alright, enough talk. Let's see if we can find a real-life mermaid. Alright, kicking things off with a bang. This first clip is wild. Imagine you're just walking through your local park enjoying the day, and you see this. A bunch of people in full-on bright yellow hazmat suits are surrounding a lake. Immediately you know something is seriously wrong. The person filming pulls out their phone because who wouldn't? You can see the officials are focused on something they're pulling out of the water. It's a huge operation, and they're being incredibly careful with whatever it is they found. As the cameraman slowly zooms in, trying to get a better look without being noticed, the image becomes clearer. It's a body, but not a human one. You can distinctly see what looks like a dark green fish tail attached to a humanoid torso. It's exactly what you'd imagine a mermaid to look like, but it's being handled by government-looking agents in protective gear. The sheer sight of it is enough to send a shiver down your spine. Is this what happens when these creatures are discovered? A silent, swift cleanup operation. The person filming, probably realizing the gravity of what they're seeing, decides to get a little closer. They creep forward, trying to get that one perfect shot that proves what they're witnessing. But just as they're about to get a crystal clear view, one of the men in the hazmat suits turns and spots them. The reaction is immediate. The cameraman panics. You hear them gasp, and the camera goes wild as they turn and sprint away. The video cuts out, leaving us with more questions than answers. What did they just film? Next up, we're heading to Mongolia for a story that took the internet by storm. Back in 2014, this absolutely insane photo went viral. It shows what looks for all the world like a massive white dragon. It's not just some blurry shape in the clouds. This is a physical body, laid out on the ground, surrounded by people. You can see its long, serpentine body, its scales, and even what looks like horns on its head. The sheer size of it is staggering, and it looks exactly like the dragons from ancient legends. The story that came with the photo was just as crazy. Supposedly, a local fisherman in Mongolia had caught this creature. It was then allegedly seized and was being transported to Beijing for study. The photo was claimed to be the only proof that escaped before a complete media blackout. For a while, people were losing their minds. Could this be it? The first ever confirmed dragon, a creature we all thought was pure fantasy. It seemed too good to be true, and for many, that's exactly what it was. Despite how incredible the photo looks, doubts quickly started to surface. Skeptics pointed out that it looked a lot like a sculpture, or maybe even a prop from a movie. There were no official reports from the Mongolian or Chinese governments, and the fisherman who supposedly caught it was never found. The photo is amazing, and part of me wants to believe it's real, but the lack of any follow-up information makes it highly suspicious. Is this a picture of a real dragon, or just one of the most elaborate internet hoaxes of all time? You can't make a video about mythical creatures without talking about the legend herself, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. For almost a century, people have been obsessed with the idea that a giant prehistoric creature lives in the deep, dark waters of Loch Ness in Scotland. It all blew up in 1934 with the surgeon's photograph, that iconic black and white image showing a long neck and head poking out of the water. That one photo ignited a global phenomenon that continues to this day. Since then, there have been countless alleged sightings, photos, and videos. We've seen grainy footage of mysterious humps moving through the water, sonar readings showing enormous, unexplained objects lurking in the depths. and eyewitness accounts from tourists, locals, and even scientists. People have dedicated their entire lives to finding this thing. They've launched massive search operations with submarines and high-tech equipment, scanning every inch of the massive lake, which is over 750 feet deep in some places. Despite all the effort, every photo has been debunked, every video has been called a hoax, and every sonar blip has been explained away as a school of fish or a floating log. The original 1934 photo was even admitted to be a fake years later, and yet, the sightings don't stop. People still travel to Loch Ness every single year, staring out at the water, hoping to be the one to finally get definitive proof. Is Nessie just a legend kept alive by wishful thinking, or is she just really, really good at hiding? From the deep lakes of Scotland we now travel to the highest peaks on Earth, the Himalayas. This is the home of the legendary Yeti, also known as the abominable snowman. For centuries, local Sherpas have told stories of a giant ape-like creature that roams the snowy mountains. It's described as being covered in white fur, walking on two legs, and being incredibly elusive. Footprints in the snow have been found for decades, but the creature itself has remained a mystery. The legend gained worldwide fame, and countless explorers and mountaineers have kept an eye out for the creature during their expeditions. There have been numerous supposed sightings over the years, with people claiming to have seen a large hairy beast moving in the distance, but clear evidence has always been just out of reach. The harsh, unforgiving environment of the Himalayas makes searching for the Yeti almost impossible, which only adds to its mystique. Then, in 2016, the story took a surprising turn. A skier in the Spanish Pyrenees, thousands of miles from the Himalayas, posted photos of what they claimed was a Yeti-like creature moving through the trees. The resort actually launched a search party to investigate the sighting. They scoured the area, but just like in the Himalayas, they found nothing. Was it a bear, a person in a suit, or did the Yeti decide to take a vacation in Spain? The photos are intriguing, but without a body, it remains another chapter in the Yeti's mysterious story. Okay, this next one is genuinely terrifying. Unlike ancient legends, this creature was born on the internet. It's called the Rake, and its story first appeared online in 2003. It's described as a hairless, humanoid creature with pale skin, long limbs and sharp claws. It moves on all fours but can stand on its hind legs. The stories about it are the stuff of nightmares, with people reporting waking up in the middle of the night to find it sitting at the foot of their bed, just watching them. The legend grew, and soon, alleged video evidence started to appear. One of the most chilling videos is from a man who claims he got lost exploring a network of underground tunnels. The video is dark and claustrophobic. You can hear the man breathing heavily, his voice filled with panic as he realizes he can't find his way out. He keeps saying he feels like he's being watched, a sense of pure dread washing over him. He turns a corner, and his flashlight lands on it. For just a split second, you see a pale, skinny figure crouched in the darkness. It has glowing eyes and unnaturally long arms. The man screams, a raw, terrified sound, and drops the camera. The footage cuts to black, and we're left with that horrifying image burned into our minds. The Rake is a modern myth, a creepypasta come to life. But for those who watch this video in the dark, it feels all too real. From something terrifying to something potentially divine. This next clip comes from Jerusalem, one of the holiest cities in the world. The video was filmed at night, looking towards the famous Dome of the Rock. Suddenly, a massive, brilliant ball of light descends from the sky. It's not a helicopter, it's not a plane. It's a silent, glowing orb that just hovers in the air directly above the sacred site. You can hear the people filming and others in the background reacting with shock and awe. The light floats there for a moment, almost as if it's observing the area. It pulses gently, bathing the dome in its glow. The atmosphere in the video is electric. The people filming are convinced they are witnessing a miracle. One of them can be heard saying they believe it's an angel, a messenger from God, descending upon the holy city. The light is so bright and its presence so powerful, it's hard to argue with their conclusion in the heat of the moment. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the event becomes even more spectacular. The ball of light, which had been moving slowly and deliberately, shoots straight up into the night sky at an impossible speed and vanishes. It doesn't fade away. It's there one moment and gone the next. Several different videos of this event appeared online, all showing the same thing from different angles. Was this a genuine celestial being, an advanced drone, or some kind of unexplained natural phenomenon? Most of us grew up with stories about fairies and elves. From European folklore to Disney's Tinkerbell, these tiny magical beings have always captured our imagination. They're usually depicted as playful, mischievous spirits of the forest, almost never seen by human eyes. But what if a couple of lucky people managed to catch them on camera? We have two incredible clips that claim to have done just that, and you guys can decide what you think. The first video shows a man in his backyard with his kids. They're just playing around when they notice something strange fluttering near the bushes. It's small, fast, and seems to be glowing faintly. The man zooms in with his camera, and for a brief moment, you can see a tiny, winged figure darting between the leaves before disappearing. It moves unlike any insect I've ever seen. The father is baffled, and his kids are completely mesmerized, convinced they've just seen a real-life fairy. The second clip is even more compelling because it was captured on a security camera. The footage shows a garage or driveway at night. Suddenly, a small, glowing creature with what looks like wings flies right past the camera. It's not a bug. It's too big, and it has a distinct humanoid shape. It hovers for a second, almost as if it notices the camera, and then zips away into the darkness. Security cameras don't lie, so what exactly did this one capture? A moth playing tricks with the light, or something truly magical? The unicorn is one of the most famous mythical creatures of all time. A symbol of purity and grace, this magical horse with a single horn on its forehead has been a part of legends for centuries. We see them in movies, books, and art, but no one has ever claimed to have seen a real one. That is, until a very mysterious video surfaced online. It's short, it's grainy, but it might just be the most credible proof of unicorns that has ever existed. The video appears to be shot in a forest or a dense valley. It shows an animal that looks almost exactly like a white horse, peacefully grazing. But right there, in the middle of its forehead, is a long, spiraling horn. It moves just like a real animal, completely unaware that it's being filmed. The creature is majestic, and for a moment you forget you're watching a shaky, low-quality video and just get lost in the possibility that unicorns are real. What makes this video so intriguing is its mysterious history. The original was supposedly uploaded and then quickly taken down, leading to theories that someone was trying to suppress it. The copies that exist today are all that's left. Skeptics argue it could be a goat with a rare deformity, or just a clever CGI creation. But for believers, the natural way the animal moves and interacts with its environment is proof enough. Could this have been a fleeting glimpse into a world we're not meant to see? We started with a potential mermaid, and we're coming back to it with another absolutely insane clip. This video puts you right in the middle of the action on a fishing boat. You can hear the fishermen shouting in a panic as they haul in their nets. They've clearly caught something big, something they weren't expecting. The camera is shaking, the men are yelling, and the tension is off the charts. You know immediately that this is not a normal day at sea. As they pull the net closer, you see what's causing the commotion. Trapped inside is a humanoid creature. It's thrashing wildly, and you can see pale, webbed hands gripping the net. The fishermen are screaming, a mix of fear and excitement. They've caught something that shouldn't exist, and they don't know what to do. The creature's movements are desperate and powerful, and it looks eerily human, but at the same time, completely alien. The most incredible part of the video is when the creature fights back. Just as the fishermen are about to haul it onto the deck, you see one of those strange mermaid-like hands tear a massive hole in the heavy-duty fishing net. The creature slips through the opening and disappears back into the water in a splash. The fishermen are left staring in disbelief at their torn net and the empty sea. The video is chaotic and blurry, but that clear shot of the hand is hard to explain. If you thought the Mongolian dragon photo was crazy, wait until you see this. So, this video was reportedly filmed in the Hunan province of China, near the city of Zhangjiajie, an area famous for its stunning pillar-like mountains that actually inspired the floating mountains in the movie. The video shows what appears to be a large, winged creature flying between these incredible mountain peaks. It has a long, serpentine body and wings, looking exactly like a classic Chinese dragon. Dragons hold a hugely important place in Chinese culture. Unlike the fire-breathing monsters of Western lore, Chinese dragons are divine, spiritual beings, symbols of power, luck, and control over water and weather. Seeing one would be a monumental event. The person filming this is, understandably, shocked, capturing the creature as it soars through the sky before disappearing behind one of the giant rock pillars. It moves with a strange, almost ethereal grace. The problem with this video is that, well, very little is known about it. We don't know who filmed it, or exactly when. It just appeared online and started spreading. Because of the location's connection to, many people believe it's a very well-made CGI fake, perhaps created by a fan or a special effects artist. But others hold out hope. In a place that looks like it's straight out of a fantasy world, is it so hard to believe that fantasy creatures might live there? Here's another potential angel sighting, but, this one is completely different from the Jerusalem orb. This one happened in South Carolina, and it was filmed by a man named Corey. He was live streaming on Facebook during a sunset when, all of a sudden, he noticed something incredible forming in the clouds. It wasn't just a random shape that kind of looked like something, it was, honestly, an almost perfect silhouette of an angel. You could see the head, the body, the outstretched wings, and even what looked like arms. Corey is completely captivated by what he's seeing. On his live stream you can actually hear him saying over and over that he's sure it's a real sign, a real angel. He says he's never seen anything like it and feels that it's a direct message. The cloud is illuminated by the setting sun, giving it this beautiful golden glow that just makes the scene feel even more divine and miraculous. It stays in that perfect shape for a surprisingly long time before it slowly starts to dissipate. Thousands of people watched his live stream and were just as amazed as he was. Of course, science would tell us this is just a case of pareidolia, which is our brain's tendency to see familiar shapes in random patterns. We see faces in clouds all the time, but this shape was so specific, so clear, and so perfectly timed with the sunset, that for Corey and many others who saw it, it was more than just a coincidence. It was proof that we're not alone. This next legend is one of my personal favorites. It comes from Loveland, Ohio, and it's the story of the Loveland Frogman. This creature is described as being about 3 to 4 feet tall, a humanoid frog that walks on its hind legs. It has leathery skin, webbed hands and feet, and a frog-like face. The first major sighting was way back in 1972, when a police officer was driving late at night and saw the creature by the side of the road. He swore it looked at him before hopping over a guardrail and disappearing. A second officer had a similar encounter a couple of weeks later. He also saw a frog-like creature, but this time, it was lying in the road. He thought it might be a dead animal, but as he got out of his car, it jumped up and ran away. These police reports gave the local legend some serious credibility. For decades, the story of the Loveland Frogman was just a weird piece of local history, a quirky tale to tell visitors. Then, in 2016, the Frogman returned. A teenager named Sam Jacobs was playing Pokemon Go late at night near Lake Isabella, the same area as the original sightings. He filmed and took pictures of a strange creature with glowing eyes crouched near the water. He said it stood up on 2 legs and then vanished. His photos went viral, bringing the Loveland Frogman back into the spotlight. Was it just a big frog and a trick of the light? Or has this bizarre creature been hiding in Ohio for over 40 years? For our final piece of evidence, we're going back in time to 1967 and traveling to British Columbia, Canada. On Main Island, a group of people on a ferry saw something that would actually be reported in newspapers. They saw a woman sitting on a rock by the shore. But this was no ordinary woman. They described her as having blonde hair, a beautiful face, and from the waist down, the tail of a porpoise. A real-life mermaid, just relaxing in the sun. The witnesses were absolutely adamant about what they saw. The ferry even circled back to get a better look, but by the time they got closer, the mermaid had slipped into the water and disappeared. The story made headlines, with newspapers running articles about the Main Island mermaid. The witnesses claimed she was eating a raw salmon, and they were struck by how unafraid and peaceful she seemed. It wasn't a fleeting glimpse, they had a clear view of her for several minutes. This wasn't just a one-off sighting. For weeks after the initial report, other people claimed to have seen her as well. The local community was buzzing with excitement and wonder. Of course, no definitive proof was ever found, and the story eventually faded into local legend. But, unlike a grainy video, this event was backed by multiple, credible eyewitnesses and documented in the press at the time. Was it a case of mass hysteria, a seal mistaken for something more, or did a mermaid really decide to show herself to the world back in 1967? And that is it. 13 of the most insane, unbelievable and mysterious clips of mythical creatures ever recorded. We've seen everything from mermaids and dragons to angels and the abominable snowman. Some of these clips are so convincing it's hard to believe they're fake. while others seem a little more suspicious. I showed you the evidence, and now I have to know what you guys think. Were any of these videos the real deal? Or are they all just incredibly creative hoaxes made by people who are way too good at video editing? I want you to go down to the comments right now and let me know which clip you thought was the most convincing. Was it the mermaid in the fishing net, the angel over Jerusalem, or maybe the terrifying rake in the tunnel? There are no wrong answers here. The whole point of these mysteries is to wonder and to debate. I read as many comments as I can, so I'm genuinely curious to see what the verdict is from all of you. Thank you all so much for watching. This was an absolutely wild ride, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you want to see more videos where we explore insane mysteries like this, make sure you've liked the video and subscribe to the channel. We have so much more crazy content planned that you do not want to miss. Until next time, keep your eyes open. You never know what you might capture on camera. See ya.